You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
Hey, we here, man. We here now. Day old news. What up, Kadeem?
I normally start the show.
Hey, but it's you know, it's just something different about the day, Kadeem. You know what's different about the day, Kadeem?
You're going to tell me?
My shirt says, "We want Florida." Not only did the Maple Leafs get Florida, they didn't even make it to the Eastern Conference Championship. Dog, Kadeem, listen. You know what? I'm gonna let you start the show, and then we could start talking. But hey, yo, bro, listen, let's go. Let's get it. Let's get it.
I can't start the show. The show's already well underway. Shout out to everyone in the comments waiting on us to begin. Shout out to Drakey. Charlie said at the Panthers game. I think he might be. I don't think Charlie ever left.
Listen, I wore this to the Panthers game last night. I'm still like I'm about to say hungover, but I don't drink. But I'm still like hungover on the high from last night, bro. Listen, it's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond but across the world. I'm your boy Charlie Touche. I got my co-host Kadeem Simmons with me. It's always for the fans and by the fans. Your favorite podcast, bro. My shirt, Kadeem, says "We want Florida," bro. And me and X went to the game last night, the Panthers game, bro. And before we went to the Panthers game, we went to game 4 of the Miami Heat versus Boston. And you know, we're on the verge of 2 sweeps. And me and X went to the game and we lost. So it's like, dang, bro. You know, everybody was giving it to us. Oh, y'all bad luck. Y'all went to the Heat game, you bad luck. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm kind of nervous about the Heat game tonight. I'm gonna be real with you. And then we went to the Panthers game last night, and I'm like, yo, if the Panthers lose and the Heat was up 3-0 and the Panthers was up 3-0 and we lost both games and it's because I went, I don't know what to do with my life, bro. Because I had to start thinking, well, I'm going to Germany for the Dolphins Chiefs game. You feel me? So I had to rethink some things. I'm like, look. Then I had to go back to the short memory. Like, wait, I went to the Panthers game earlier this year. We won that. I went to the Patriots versus the Dolphins. We won that. And I feel like I got another win in there somewhere. Like, I'm like, nah, bro, this is nothing to be worried about. We're going to come home with this W. You got something, Kadeem?
Are you 0-2 on international Dolphin games?
I am.
Yeah, see, I'm 0-2 on, I guess, London international games. So I think that's not international for me. That's home. So I'm hoping that if I go my first road Dolphins game, we pick up a dub. Because if not, I'm never going to a Dolphins live game ever again. It can't happen.
I appreciate everybody in the comments. I see all y'all boys and girls. What's the word on the street? Listen, Kadeem. So we go to this game 3. You know, the idea was to go to the Heat game 4, and watch the Eastern Conference championship trophy get lifted. Like, hey, we're going to the finals. And then it was the same thing going to the Panthers game last night. Obviously, after we knowing that we lost the Heat game, so I'm like, yo, we got to win this. And they started off real good, 1-0, all the good stuff. We were up 1 the whole match, it felt like. And then they got tied up at the end with 3 minutes left to go. It was tied up. And with 4 seconds left in regulation, Kadeem, 4 seconds on the clock, Matthew Tkachuk puts it in the back of the net, bro. And if you haven't seen us on social media lately, it is on the socials. It is on, bro, the reaction. I was holding the phone, and X picked me up, bro. We fell over, hit the metal post. I can hear the bing over the crowd. Like, I like, yo, X is gonna have like trauma. Like, yo, this is bad. And everybody was helping us up. X was okay. He didn't spill his beer. Like, yo, we good, bro. Everybody was going crazy, bro. Kadeem, I lived in Florida my whole life. I've been a part of multiple championships, Hurricane, national championships, Heat championships, Marlins World Series. I went to the World Series, Kadeem. This Eastern Conference Championship, maybe because I was there. I was at the World Series too, though. But maybe because I was there, bro. This is one of the best sports feelings I've ever had in my life, bro. You made a face. What's up?
One of the comments.
Hey, what's up, bro? Hey, so shout out to Hector in the comments. Listen, hey, everybody in the comments, shout out Hector. Let me tell you what happened, all right? So Drakey was on the last episode, right? I need a seat for this. Yo, Drakey was on the last episode. Shout out to our loyal listeners. If anybody heard the last episode and if you watched the last episode, there's bonus time. And at the end of bonus time, I don't know, did you keep it in there, Kadeem?
No, so you get up to go to the door and then you come back. You don't see you actually.
All right, cool. So at the end of bonus time, we go into the episode, bonus time, and I get a knock on the door. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on at the door. I ain't gonna lie. Sometimes I might not even be wearing those shorts when I record. Who knows? But that time I happen to be, properly attired. You feel me? So I go to the door and it's pest control. He knocks on the door like, hey, man, we just spraying for bugs and stuff. I'm like, my bad, bro. Give us like 2 minutes and can you come right back? He said, yeah, I'm going to go upstairs first and I'll come back down. Like, cool. So we didn't put it in the podcast. So we actually ended the podcast. It was bonus time. He comes back when the podcast ends. He walks in the building. Shout out to Hector. This is Hector. Put the comment back up. Hector walks in the apartment and says, oh, you a Dolphin fan? Because you see the podcast is up. Drakey's still on. Kadeem's there. I'm talking to him. Bro, on everything I love, me and Hector chopped it up for like, I don't even want to get the dude in trouble. You know what I'm saying? We chopped it up for a while. You know what I'm saying? Because he was working. We chopped it up for a while. And I wish for the life of me that I recorded that conversation because we were talking about Miami sports. And he actually went to the Heat game that night. I told I was going to the games. And he's a subscriber now. Showed up on the podcast. Appreciate it, Hector. Already. Go Time Dolphins is in the building, man. Kadeem, bro. When I tell you I'm still, I want to say tipsy, but I don't drink. I'm still on it from last night, bro. Like I'm still on it, man.
You can be, I guess, hungover and tipsy from the scenes and the jubilation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's nothing saying that, you have to be tipsy on alcohol. You could be tipsy on happiness, on sadness. So yeah. And it was interesting. Obviously, we weren't recording, but I can see like, oh, Dolphins, like, like essentially, I feel like it's the same way you met Sherrod Steve. It's just that, and obviously in London, in the UK, we don't really get that as much. I think when Drake was on the podcast, he kind of said, you might see someone in a Dolphins jersey or a Dolphin jacket or a Raiders hat, but it's kind of like they're wearing it for fashion as opposed to being a fan, whereas I feel like you don't quite get that in the States and stuff like that. But listen, once again, thanks to everyone who's joined us so far. If you haven't already, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It means that we're doing something good. It means you like us and it helps grow the podcast. This show, there's two things I want to discuss. One came from a question 5-Yard Lee asked, and another one is controversy from a YouTube personality who shouldn't be named on this podcast. I think it's probably best to start with the controversy, given it's one of the questions in the chat from earlier.
Before we get into it, I want to bring something else up real quick before we get into that. Did you see that Tua is wearing a camera on his helmet?
That was the controversy.
That's controversy, bro.
So basically,
how is that controversial?
Because your favorite YouTube personality put out this tweet saying, and you know what? I'm going to read the tweet because I don't want to misquote this person, and it needs to be read out loud.
Hey, and don't jokingly say he's my favorite personality either. I don't appreciate that. Like,
Apologies, deepest apologies. If you weren't here for the was it day 3 of the draft? Day 3 of the draft, there was a
draft.
yeah. It's history now. So this is what the tweet said. Can someone explain to me why Tua is the first QB in the history of the NFL to wear a camera on his helmet? I know why he's wearing it, but I've been told for 3 years I was wrong about his ability to process the field, go through progressions properly, etc. Please explain this. I'll be live on this one. Wow. Can't wait to see how this one is spinned. Imagine Herbert with a camera. Dolphins fans will be laughing their tails off.
All right. We're going to do it like this, Kadeem. I'm going to be real with you because we keep it real on this podcast. On day 3 of the draft, TD Fence Talk was on another platform, and me and Kadeem also had an invitation to that platform. On that platform, me and TD Fence Talk had a back and forth, very brief back and forth. So I said, hey, bro, matter of fact, it wasn't even me. Someone else suggested it. I think it was Chris from the Fence Tailgate suggested, hey, TD Fence Talk and Charlie Touche should have a versus. I'm like, you not saying nothing. Let's do it. You feel me? Shout out, Eastern Conference Championship. We in here. So I'm like, let's do it. So TD Fence Talk said, let's do it. I'm like, all right, hey, I already hit you up on Twitter. Let's make it happen. He said, oh, well, did you inbox me? Turns out I can't inbox him because we don't follow each other. So I guess we'll have to put this on the social media platform to get people's attention, and we can have this versus that people apparently want. But no, I don't think there's any controversy, Kadeem. Why would you think there's controversy behind this?
So Carl Krabs responds to that tweet, and he has pictures of 4 different quarterbacks. I think it's Andy Dalton, a Bills quarterback. Is it EJ Manuel?
Yeah, he went to Florida State and he was drafted by the Bills. First round pick, he's a bust.
Yeah. So TD responds saying all bad quarterbacks, and then someone else jumps in saying, like, legit, find me the Peyton Manning and Tom Brady GoPro to help make their reads. So Carl responds saying, okay, Tom Brady with a GoPro. So it's controversy because it's not. Tua's doing something which
meaning Tom Brady had a GoPro on him before?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's like, it's this whole, why are we knocking Tua for doing stuff that other quarterbacks have done in the past? And even if they haven't, what's wrong with having a camera on your head? It's only improvement. So that's why it's controversy, because it's not a thing. But when you're trying to just get, I guess, engagement and negative interactions, this is what people have to stoop to. It's stupid. It's pointless. I can't keep on saying it's stupid and pointless, but it is stupid and it's pointless.
Kadeem, this year during the draft process, Zay Flowers visited the Kansas City Chiefs. You're allowed to have a certain amount of visits and a certain amount of interviews during the draft process. But when Zay Flowers visited the Kansas City Chiefs, him and Patrick Mahomes had a session, like a throwing session. Like, yo, let me drive the car before I test it. I'm like, how come no one else is doing this? You feel me? So I hit up Sherrod Steve. I'm like, Sherrod Steve, bro. Am I tripping, dog? Like, don't you think every single team should want to test their like receivers or quarterbacks? Or, hey, look, we want you to throw with our receiver and see what he looks like. You know what I'm saying? Or if you're a quarterback, hey, I want you to throw with the person who we think we're going to draft, and see what you think of him. Like, in 2 years, I think the NFL is going to ban it. Like, yo, we can't be having teams having these athletes come in and basically give them a test drive because you might get hurt, 1, and 2 is like almost like an advantage because now every single team that this person visits is going to work out, have a live workout with like personal live workout with their quarterback. That I don't see that happening in the near future. I think they're going to stop it. So I'm like, why wouldn't every single team do this? This is the same thing, Kadeem. Why wouldn't every single team do this? Why wouldn't every single playmaker, as in Mike McDaniel, want to see what the quarterback sees. Has nothing to do with the caliber of the quarterback. Has everything to do with the offensive coordinator. In this case, technically, Mike McDaniel isn't the offensive coordinator, but he is the play caller. He calls the plays. He makes the plays. You feel me? So if I'm making plays and I'm drawing up new plays every other week and I'm calling plays, I'm like, yo, I want to see what the quarterback sees. Yeah, we got tape. We have all type of things. But why not get the same exact vantage point that my quarterback has? So now I know, okay, now I know what he sees. Now I know what plays I like even more, or what plays I don't like, and vice versa.
Can I just say, I think it's one of those things where every single person in practice should have one, because every single person has a different vantage point. So even if you just watch Tua's camera angle, Vic Fangio could be like, okay, Jerome Baker, notice how he looks left. You go. Don't fall for that. He's giving you the wires. Same with Javon Holland. Notice how Holland stays exactly where he is. He doesn't fall for the eyes. It's something which it helps the entire franchise. It's self-scouting. It's stupid that this is seen as a negative, because it's not a negative. So listen, it's one of those things where same way other teams have used it in the past, I guess I'm somewhat surprised it's taken Mike McDaniel, I guess, this long to do it. But at the same time, this is brilliant. It's excellent. People in the comments saying they have no problem with the helmet cam. Yeah, I would not be surprised if, obviously it's a safety thing, but I would not be surprised if during the joint practice against the Falcons, some players have a camera on as well. Or, even if it's one, in a helmet, or they'll fight. People can get a camera in a teddy bear and in a big hat. You can find a way to put a camera in a helmet. So again, it's like, this is what we see. So this is what the defense has given us. This is how we lined up. To where you look left, can you see that actually your first read was open the entire time? All that kind of stuff. This is, in my opinion, valuable information, which I'm glad the Dolphins are going to make the most of, because again, it can only help the team. I legit can't think of a single bad thing this does unless it gets leaked. As the only negative, in my opinion.
I'm not going to get too worked up of it, because this is a non-believer that's trying to get people worked up about it. You know what I'm saying? So this is someone trying to bring credit to their disbelief of our quarterback. You see what I'm saying? If you believe in our quarterback, you're like, oh, whatever makes it better. You know what I'm saying? Like, this has nothing to do with a negative narrative. You see what I'm saying? Now, I could also understand if they don't allow it in joint practices, like you said with the Falcons. I could understand, well, no, we don't want footage of the opposite team in the opposite team's camp. Like, no, we don't want no Belichick stuff going on here. So you could only have cameras with your own practices. I can understand that logic, right? So, but this to me, and even though it's not innovative because we're not the first to do it, this is okay, Tua, if you like this play, I want to see why you like this play. You know what I'm saying? If you don't like this play, I want to see why you don't like this play. It's just another vantage point. If there was a camera that could be back there during practice, it would be. But Tua looking players off, he does it. Matter of fact, Tua is one of the best quarterbacks in the league that looks players off. And then there's doubters who say, oh, he doesn't go through his reads. If that's not one of the biggest lies, go see the Baltimore Ravens tape, where I want to say it's Matt Hasselbeck breaks down the Baltimore Ravens tape on the Pat McAfee show and says, yo, this man went through every single read and ended up on an us or nobody ball to Jalen Waddle and ended up winning the game. Like, you can't ask for a better quarterback than that, or better progression than that. Like, yo, this is not even news to me, honestly.
Was it the Lions game where you find Gesicki in the end zone, and that was like his fourth read? Or if there's a touchdown to Gesicki in the back of the end zone, it's like that wasn't one of his reads, but he was gone through his read, saw Gesicki, boom, hit him. Like, anyway, that's the controversy. But
hey, we'll go back to it. TD Fence Talk. This is your boy Charlie Touche. We said we're gonna have a versus. Let's set up the versus. That's all I'm saying. Like, I think it'll make for I don't want to say healthy content, but I think it'll make for pretty good content. Like, yo, you on one side of the Dolphin spectrum, I'm on the other side of the Dolphin spectrum. That's all I'm saying. Eastern Conference champions, by the way. Let's do it.
So before I get to my next thing, comment from IMAX in the chat. Any Southern Dade County folks in the chat near Cutler Ridge Mall, check on your peeps. Just saw that a tornado touchdown near the mall. Had to call my folks in Homestead. So yeah, hopefully everyone is safe out there. Hopefully your folks are safe. And yeah, hopefully it's
that's terrible because Cutler Ridge has been devastated by weather before, back in 92, 94, Hurricane Andrew. So to know that a tornado touchdown over there, like that's crazy. It's not too many. Contrary to popular belief, we don't experience too many tornadoes down here in South Florida. Just hurricanes, and hurricanes don't have lightning, believe it or not. But go ahead.
No, I was going to say, the other part of this discussion stems from a question 5-yard lead from the Dolphin UK podcast asked. So on Tuesday, he asked in a chat, would you let Tua take some hits now, like not falling controlled? You said no. I said yes. And we was like, podcast. We're not even going to go into it in the chat. We're going to get it on the podcast. Before we delve into that, IMAX, great to hear that they're all good. Yeah, great news. A bit of context. Obviously, I believe Monday or Tuesday's OTAs was Tua's first practice since the Green Bay, or first time seeing the field since the Green Bay concussion. He's back at now. Obviously, he's been doing jiu-jitsu in the off season, and Mike McDaniel said that they're incorporating who jiu-jitsu falls into practice now. Didn't really expand on what exactly, but it looks like they're doing some, I guess, controlled hits, controlled falls, just to, I guess, see how it's working out, stuff like that. So Lee asked, should Tua take hits? You said no. Why no?
I don't think a quarterback should take hits in practice, period. That's why you see them with the red no contact jersey on in practice, and that's it. You if you're coming off the edge, you run past the quarterback. Sometimes you don't even get the two-hand touch the quarterback. It's just they call the play dead. Like you run past them, and hey, this would have been a sack. You don't even get to touch the quarterback. That's hence the non-contact jersey. So quarterbacks on most teams, maybe 30 of 32 get a non-contact jersey. You are not allowed to touch the quarterback. So for me to put my quarterback into some friendly fire situations, I'm like, why would I do that? Has nothing to do with his history of concussions last year. But nah, like just on the surface level, why would I want my quarterback to be in a contact situation in practice anyway?
And yeah, I do get that. There's a reason why everything is controlled in practice. The last thing you want is a UDFA trying to make a name for himself, sacking your quarterback, injuring that quarterback for a season, because you're never getting a job ever again. So I 100% agree with that. I think where it comes, the reason I said yes is more because it's a controlled situation. I'm not saying I want, an Ndamukong Suh, Cameron Wake, meet at a quarterback sandwich like they done to Bryce Petty. That tackle was just nasty. Quite funny, to be fair. But, something where it sounds weird, but there will come a time in the very near future where Tua are going to have to start getting hits. And I'd like to start it with, like I said, controlled hits in practice where you can control the environment. Because it's like that Pittsburgh game when Tua returned. And he ran someone over and everyone's like, don't do that. Like, we've just got you back. Look after yourself. And even he said, I kind of had to do it to show that, I'm not made of paper. I'm paraphrasing and stuff like that. And I think, in my opinion, just to be like, we know you're good. We know you're healthy. Here's a quick little hit. Cool. Just to get out of the system before the live rounds start coming in the next few weeks. But I totally understand your point. It's a case of
What's a controlled hit, Kadeem?
So I see a controlled hit where it's kind of like same way you said, a defender gets around the edge and normally be like, okay, normally I'll two hands, I'm okay with a two hands controlled hit, or even a and it sounds really stupid, but like a gentle rugby tackle down to the ground. Maybe because I'm from the UK and rugby has different tackling compared to the NFL, and in rugby in practice you will have tackles. Um, I think it's Pete Carroll in the Seahawks. He teaches rugby tackling for Seahawks defenders and stuff like that. So I'm not saying that there's no danger. It's tackling. You can't fully eradicate danger from tackling, but I believe there is a safe way to tackle in practice. I'd probably do it. Someone will get hurt. I will never get a job in the NFL ever again. But that's why I'm a podcaster and not a NFL coach.
I just don't think you could practice hits. Shout out to Drake. He just said you could take 100 hits in practice and then take one hit in the game and it's a wrap. So I feel him on that. And I just think you want to put your quarterback and you want to put all of your players in the safest situation in practice. That's why they have the huge concussion helmets, like the big bubble helmets during practice for almost everybody, right? Most likely the linemen, like most of the linemen have the big helmets. So you want to minimize all the risks, not most of the risks. You want to minimize all the risks in practice. Well, I guess most of the risks, 90% of the risks in practice. So even when the running back runs through the hole, it's like two-hand touch. It's just like, all right, tap. Now, even when you go full with pads, it's a little contact. It's not even full contact. So if your running backs and your linebackers only have little contact, why would you want your quarterback to have little contact? It's just not my thing. I don't like the idea of let's see if you're okay, and then next thing you know, a D tackle gets in and you throw the ball and your hand hits a helmet, and now your hand is jacked up, and it's not even, we don't even get to see if your concussions are good. So there's no point for me to even test this thing out. What we do know, this is factual. What we do know is when Tua is healthy, he is, I was going to say the top 5 quarterback in the league. Maybe that's not factual. But when he is healthy, the Dolphins are a top 5 team in the league. We can say that. When Tua is healthy, the Dolphins are a top 5 team in the league. So the goal should be keep your quarterback healthy. So to try to, all right, well, let's see if he's healthy or not. I feel like we should just play with Tua as long as he's healthy, and that's it. And if it happens to where he's not healthy in the league during the season, it's very, very, very unfortunate. But we shouldn't play around and say, well, now he's not unhealthy to start the season either. Like, I don't think we should do that.
I get that. And again, so very quickly, I believe when Tua was healthy last season, he led the league in a bunch of stats. Like,
Yeah.
it was. So I think I personally think it's factual to say, when healthy, Tua is a top 5 quarterback in the league. You see Chris Sims' quarterback list, quarterback rankings.
Oh my goodness, we're here already. Are we here?
Of course we are.
Do we have Chris Sims' quarterback list, bro? Because that's where we're at now. We're on the countdown. For anyone who is new to Go Time Dolphins, we have an annual quarterback rankings episode, and we're here. It's very close. We turned the corner. We passed the draft. We got past all the off-season stuff, and we're in the part of the Go Time Dolphins season where we're gonna have a quarterback rankings episode. And last year's episode was epic. But what you got for us, Kadeem?
So I was going to read it out, but there's no point in reading it out when I can just grab it. So if you bear with me 2 secs, he hasn't got all the way from 40 to 1, and he starts at 40, which I quite like, I guess. But yeah, we go from 32. Chris Sims does his top 40 countdown. Would you be open to moving it to 40, or do you think 32 is fine?
No, I think that's you and Sherrod Steve. I'm okay with just naming 32 because I don't believe every team has to be what's the word? Every team doesn't have to be present on this list, accounted for. You know what I'm saying? So in my opinion, so if we just rank the 32 best, if your team isn't represented, that means you have quarterback problems. So then for you to open it up to 40, that means you want to get the Jimmy Garoppolo's, Brock Purdy's, and Josh. What's Trey Lance? You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm not here for that. I just want the 32 best quarterbacks, whether they're on. There's 2 quarterbacks on one team, or one team is not represented or not. That's the word I was looking for, represented. So I don't believe all 32 teams have to be represented, but I'm not interested in putting 40 quarterbacks because there's not even 32 starters in the league, in my opinion.
No, I heard that. It was just a question. You ready for Chris Sims' list?
Scatter the rest, right tight.
To shout out to King of Finland for tweeting it out. For anyone listening to the audio version, we have Desmond Ridder at the Falcons at 40, Sam Howell of the Commanders at 39, Bryce Young 38, CJ Stroud 38, Anthony Richardson 36. Sorry, Bryce Young 38, CJ Stroud 37, Anthony Richardson 36. They are all rookies. Mike White, the Dolphins backup 35, Gardner Minshew 34, Tyler Heineke 33, Javid Stidham 32, Jordan Love 31. David Mills 30, Tyler Huntley 29, Andy Dalton 28, Sam Darnold 27, Brock Purdy 26, Kenny Pickett 25, Baker Mayfield 24, Justin Fields 23, Jimmy Garoppolo 22, Tua Tagovailoa 21, and Mac Jones 20. So Chris Sims in 2023 had Tua Tagovailoa as the 21st ranked quarterback in the league. We haven't seen the rest of his top 20 yet. Charlie, break that down for me.
There's no breakdown needed. All of those quarterbacks that were mentioned today in Chris Sims' list are either suey or unproven. Like, none of those quarterbacks are a thing. So this is Chris Sims being petty, again, trying to justify his take on Tua, like some other podcasters out there. Like, yo, it's okay to be wrong. Because I've been wrong a couple times. Not about Tua, because I said he was going to pan out. You feel me? But I've been wrong about other things, and I got to eat it. Like, damn, I was wrong about that. You feel me? I'm okay with that. You've been wrong about a couple things. It's okay to say you've been wrong about a couple things. Like, I'm not going to defend you with Tua's takes, but yo, some people were wrong, and it is what it is. We have a platform. We're not just the average person who has arguments in the living room with your roommate. We have a platform, and we have to live and die on some of these takes, and I'm okay with that. Chris Sims is wrong, Holmes. He's wrong, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to fall on a sword, and this is the hill he decided to die on, and Dolphins social media will just have to give it to him. And I think some people want that. I think some people want I know I'm going to make the Dolphin fans mad because they're going to give me a whole bunch of clicks. And that's all this is. And it's the same thing with negative podcasters out there that just want the negative attention. You know what? Shout out to my dog, Achille Apparel. Maybe I shouldn't have said his name, but shout out to him because he has his own brand of clothing, right? And me and him have had numerous conversations. He's very successful here in South Florida, and he ships all over the world. I've been rocking with him since day one. We've been friends since we were jits, and he's successful now in the clothing industry, apparel industry. And he said, you know, he has famous people wearing his clothes, and it's all on his Achille Apparel. It's all on his social media. And me and him have conversation, and he's like, yo, all attention is good attention in the apparel game. You know what I'm saying? Like, whether it's negative attention or good attention, it's still attention, and people are going to be attracted to my clothes when I sell them. And it's the same thing for podcasters, bro. Kadeem, me and you have had conversations about our podcast and had to make the conscious decision to say, yo, we're not doing something on our podcast, although it would bring us hundreds of thousands of hits. We've had those conversations, and because we have morals and values, said, yo, we're not doing that. You know what I'm saying? We want to do things the right way. We don't want a certain type of attention. And this is all that this is. Chris Sims, matter of fact, since we brought dog name up and TD Fins Talk, they're on that type of stuff. And I'm just not on that, bro.
We'll have our quarterback rankings coming out in like 2 to 3 weeks. So definitely want to tune into that one myself. yourself, Charlie, Share White, Steve. And if anyone else wants to make a quarterback rankings list and come on the show and debate it with us, you are more than welcome to. Yeah, this is Chris Sims probably upset that Tua said who is Chris Sims back in January or February during the Super Bowl week. This is Chris Sims refusing to say, do you know what, actually maybe Tua was good last season. Maybe Tua is a, playoff caliber quarterback at the very least. And it's fine because Dolphins could have got to the AFC Championship game last season. Tua could have been runner-up MVP, and Chris Sims will still have him at 20. Chris Sims will always find a way to be negative about Tua because, essentially, to admit he got it wrong on Tua would mean that his whole opinion on quarterbacks essentially is wrong, and it happens. Listen, no one bats 1,000 on opinions, and the one thing I try and be more positive when engaging in debates and opinions with friends over sports. So the one thing I always say, if it's your opinion, you can't be wrong. But that's your opinion. I might disagree with it, but to say it's wrong is out of order because that's what you think, if that makes sense. Now, sometimes opinions can be wrong. And this is one of those times when opinions, or Chris Tim's opinion, in my opinion, is straight out wrong. Shout out to Tim. No need to apologize for missing it. And yes, this is my Man United jersey. Man United playing right now. But it's a collaboration between Adidas, Man United, and Pharrell, Human Race. So yeah, shout out to Pharrell, my favorite artist or producer. My football team, Man United. So yeah.
Eastern Conference champions. Hopefully we get another Eastern Conference champion this later on today when the Heat take on the Boston Celtics. Bro, I ain't gonna lie. I'm very nervous about that game, bro. Very, very, very nervous about that game. Did you want to continue with this this Tua talk? Or because I got a question for you.
Shoot.
Former Buffalo Bill punter / kicker Matt Ariza was he wasn't even acquitted. Evidence has come out and said he was not even in the building when this act took place that got him basically his name smeared. And I'm a believer of if we reported on it when it happened, then we have to report on it as we get new findings, right? So he was what was alleged. Was it alleged? Is that the word I'm looking for?
It was alleged, yeah.
It was alleged that he was involved in a rape, and turns out he was not even present when this said rape took place. And the Bills cut him. They drafted him in the 4th round. The Bills drafted him in the 4th round, which is very high for a kicker. And turns out, no one took it. No one has even said his name ever since. But the Jets have brought him in for a workout. Jets have former Miami Dolphin punter Morstead over there. Then they have I want to say a decent kicker. I thought they had a pretty decent kicker over there right now. But are you interested in bringing in Ariza, or are you like, you know what, I'm good?
We've discussed this briefly before. I don't
think we did. I'm not sure we actually did on air.
I feel like we done it in a live. It might have been live during draft time. I remember his name come up, especially when everything was dropped. It was kind of like, his career potentially could be ruined by something he seems to have not done. Mm-hmm. What I will say about him, and this is purely personal, I don't think it was a good look for him to do an interview with Tommy Lauren. He can talk to whoever he wants, but I found it interesting. That was the platform he chose to go on to talk about what happened. I'm not the biggest Tommy Lauren fan. I know a lot of people were like, dude, this isn't a good look. Even if you've done nothing wrong, to discuss it with Tommy Lauren's a bit. But listen, I would have no issue if the Dolphins brought him in. I might not be a fan of it, but he's an innocent man looking for work. The one thing I will add, it's interesting from where I'm sitting, and I'm not trying to make it a thing, but I do find it interesting that only one team have brought him in so far, given his potential at least. And I don't think there's 31 other teams with a better punter, if that makes sense. So let's see what happens over the next few weeks to see if any other teams bring him in for a look. I wouldn't be against it, but it wouldn't be something I would do if I was in charge. But like I said, he's innocent, so who am I to deny him a working job?
I think if it is absolutely unequivocally a fact that nothing happened and he was not involved in what people said he was involved in, then I absolutely bring him in. And that's as simple as that. Has nothing to do with who he interviewed with or who he didn't interview with. I'm just going off of talent and a smear campaign, which is unfortunate. And again, that's if everything pans out like they said it panned out. Of course, I'll bring him in. Like, this is just a football player, football decision that, he's better than Jason Sanders. We know that much, in my opinion. Like, he's better than Jason Sanders. So at a minimum, I think the real conversation is, are we willing to take this Jason Sanders dead cap penalty if we bring in a kicker? That should be the real conversation. What's up?
Why are you mentioning Jason Sanders? Because Matt's a punter.
Bro, he can kick, though.
No, I'm saying he can kick. What I'm saying. So would you bring him in to replace Sanders and not even worry about punting?
It's funny you said that, because I was actually about to get to this. Before the allegations, I believe there was a chance that Matt Araiza would be on some kicker/punter stuff where you save a roster spot and just have this dude do both things. Like, before the allegations, I thought if you're a 4th round pick and you can do both, and he has a stat where he is the second punter ever to have kicked for an over 80 yards in one game, a 80-yard punt in one game, and over a 50-yard field goal in the same game. He's the second kicker to ever do that, but he did it twice in one season. So if you could do that, I got to know how good are you? So you've been out of football for, I want to say, a year now, maybe a little over a year and a half. I don't know. I don't know how you maintain something like that. I really don't. I don't have the answers for that. So that's why I said before the allegations, if he's fresh off of college and he just got drafted, there's a conversation. You might not do it the first year where you draft this dude and say, hey, you're going to be our kicker and our punter. You probably don't do that first year, but if you can save an entire roster spot, bro, and just pay this dude more to be both, I'm interested in changing some things up, bro. Who said we had to follow the blueprint of 31 other teams? You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested. I'm interested in them for sure. I don't think the Dolphins are, and I'm okay with it too. Like, I'm just saying we did need to bring it back up since we brought it up initially when we heard the allegations. But we about to get into the bonus time, Kadeem?
We are, and I'm looking forward to bonus time today.
Mental Health Awareness Month, man. Y'all talk to somebody. Don't suffer in silence. I be talking to people. Kadeem talks to people. Bro, it's just healthier to get it out. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it doesn't have to be the most extreme thing. It could be the little things where it's like, you know what? I'm just not feeling it right now. Everybody has off days. Sometimes we have off seasons. You know what I'm saying? So mental health awareness is a real thing, man. Talk to somebody. Don't suffer in silence. Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive. Test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next time on Go Time. Already.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. Cause it's show time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. That thing vibing right now, Kadeem.
You know what else is vibing?
What we got?
So Wednesday, no, today's Thursday. Have you seen who was the orange jersey wearer?
Dang, today's Thursday?
Today's Thursday.
That's crazy. I thought it was Friday. Like, bro, hey, bro, the game messed me up last night, boy. Like, I was ready for 4 overtimes. Game 1 went to 4 overtimes. And when we was 10, 9, 8, 7, I'm like, hey, I'm ready. Lock me in for 4 overtimes. I'm ready if we got to. We gotta get this trophy tonight. But go ahead, my bad.
No, if this was Friday, I'm meant to be in the Isle of Wight with my boy Drakey right now. Shout out Drakey.
Shout out Drake.
So yeah, do you know who the orange jersey wearer was on Thursday?
I don't.
Savon Ahmed.
Hey, shout out to Ahmed. Friend of a friend.
People are so ready to count him out of the Dolphins running back room. You never know. And one of the questions earlier in the chat before we went live was I think it might have been IMAX. Yes. Why are some Dolphins fans hell-bent on signing Dalvin Cook? I understand he's from the crib, but the way Moses said McDaniels gassed him up about the road this season, that is for chemistry. Before you answer that, second question, or third question, I guess, have you seen who the player who's been making headlines so far in OTAs is?
Is it a lineman?
No, it's not.
Who is it?
Devon A-Chain. Listen, people are saying this kid looks like a superstar. So I knew you'd be like, run me my check. Run me my check because I tried to tell you.
Can I get like something? Miami Dolphins? Can I get like hey, I don't know how you knew this dude was going to be it, but here go like some season tickets. Or here just goes tickets to some game. You know what I'm saying? Can I get something? But at the same time, I would like a check. I would like to do it as an employee. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, employ me so I could be a scout and I could just do what I got to do. I'll start with Devon A-Chain and then it'll work our way with Savon Ahmed. I don't know if Savon Ahmed can fend off Devon A-Chain. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, bro, the running back room, and this kind of encompasses all 3 questions. Like, I don't know. This is going to be a very healthy running back room because you have Devon A-Chain, who's going to be a dude. You have Raheem Mostert, who is a dude when he's healthy. And then you have Jeff Wilson Jr., who at times looked better than Raheem Mostert that came in halfway through the season. So it's like, yo, shout out to a friend of the podcast, Miles Gaskin. He's the voice of the locker room. It's a lot going on here. You know what I'm saying? So you have a running back room where Chris Brooks, I still need to see what Chris Brooks looks like. He's a big dude, 6'2", 230. I want to see what it looks like. So you have a running back room where, as a coach, I'm sure they love everybody in the running back room. But it's not about a love contest. This is about a Super Bowl. So what do we do to get a Super Bowl? And at the end of the day, I'm going to answer IMAX's question. Yes, Dalvin Cook is from the crib, but why is everyone hell-bent on him? I don't want to say where I may not be hell-bent on him, but I will say this. Don't let a good player prevent you from taking a great player. So if you can acquire Dalvin Cook for reasonable money, then you will acquire Dalvin Cook for reasonable money. However, and you know, everyone's gonna say, well, we need O-line help. Well, yeah, show me the O-lineman that you can get for Dalvin Cook money, and we'll get that O-lineman. You know what I'm saying? Like, so sometimes those things aren't available to you to where you could just spend $6.5 million on an O-lineman. So it is what it is. You gotta go with what you're presented with.
So I believe A-Chain didn't compare himself to Christian McCaffrey, but kind of said he can do that Christian McCaffrey stuff. And there's some people saying that, I guess in the pre-draft process, A-Chain's hands and route running was so good that people think he could even be like a sneaky wide receiver 3 in Miami. A-Chain's getting love, mad love. So you said don't let a good player stop you from getting a great player. Would you still, and again, and I think even to Nick Hicks of Perform, Someone said something about what's happened to Dalvin Cook in Minnesota. Is he coming to Miami? And Nick kind of said wait until June 1st. So everyone kind of gone. If Nick Hicks is saying wait until June 1st, then it's likely to happen. Are you still, as of Thursday, because today's Thursday, are you still A-Chain's looking great? You still need to go and get Dalvin Cook. Even, and like as you go into the season, would your running back room be Cook? Look, I'm not going to do it for you. What would your running back room look like for week 1?
In the event, now I want to be clear. I am happy with the running back room if we do not get Dalvin Cook. I am okay with it. I'm cool with it. We have, matter of fact, Mike McDaniel was the running coordinator in San Francisco when 5 running backs went over 500 yards and they went to the Super Bowl. Mike McDaniel was the run coordinator for that. So I'm okay with Mike McDaniel having Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., going over 500 yards apiece, and then Devon A-Chain going over 400 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm okay with that. If you get Dalvin Cook for reasonable money, I am all in on it. I am okay with it. I sign off on it. And I'm also okay with him being the bell cow. He won't be a bell cow because that's not how Mike McDaniel operates. He doesn't operate well. Cook's going to come in and no one's getting touches no more. That's not how he operates. And I do believe he'll still ride the hot hand, but I think Dalvin Cook will have first dibs. You see what I'm saying? So my running back room, to answer your question, would be Dalvin Cook, Raheem Mostert, Jeff Wilson Jr., and Devon A-Chain. But the 3 behind Dalvin Cook, it's whoever looks like what, whoever's running better, really. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm being honest with you, the Dolphins just didn't take Devon A-Chain to be the saving grace this year. He's going to be the only running back under contract after this season will be Devon A-Chain. So Devon A-Chain is a now pick, but it's for tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? It's not for today. So I'm okay with Devon A-Chain putting in this time, watching for the sideline for a little bit, but just know we have a weapon in Devon A-Chain.
I was going to say, do you reckon A-Chain gets that friend of the podcast, Miles Gaskin treatment in his first year where it's like, we don't need you this year. You are the luxury piece. So you might spend most of the season on the sideline, not dressing you, which if it happens, oh my day, the Dolphins took this running back. And then, listen, we're playing chess, not checkers here. But yeah, it's very much a case of, would you be happy if A-Chain doesn't dress most weeks simply because the ride-in with Dalvin Cook, Mostert, and Wilson, and why do you really need A-Chain in that situation?
I don't think it's going to be a case where he doesn't dress. This is not like Eric Ezukama, you know what I'm saying, or Channing Tindall. This is a basically dude is a second-round pick. You're going to dress the second-round picks. He's going to be dressed. It's just about how much you use him.
Wasn't he a third-round pick?
He's a second-round pick, though. Like
Tindall was a second-round pick.
Tindall wasn't a second-round pick, was he? Tindall was a third-round pick, and Eric Ezukama was a fourth-round pick.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
But yeah, in my opinion, Devon A-Chain could have been a second round. Was he not a second round pick? Who was our first round? Who was our second round pick?
Cam Smith.
Oh yeah, you're right. I 20 bands. How could I forget? How could I forget?
I'm glad you forgot. You're like it did happen. I'm just not gonna do it.
What up, Moya TV? But no, I think you're not gonna not dress Devon A-Chain. You're gonna put him back at kick return and punt return, and you're gonna find a role for him. He's too good to not use because he can mess around, Kadeem, and win the job. Then what? Like halfway through the season, Kadeem, the year I met you in London, it was 2017. That was Alvin Kamara's first year, and Alvin Kamara was not even a thing yet until he played the Dolphins and became a thing that week. Like, dang, bro. So yeah, you're gonna get Devon A-Chain spoon fed for a little bit, but then next thing you know, you don't know what injuries look like. You don't know none of that. So he might get the ball and be like, "Yo, we were gonna save you, but nah, you too good. We gotta let him out the cage." So I'm okay with that, man.
Yeah, definitely. Quick one from Moya. Where do I find the heads up when you're going live? Turn on notifications. Sometimes we'll be like, we're going live in 2 minutes. If you've got your notifications on, YouTube should tell you, yeah, that's the best way we can definitely tell you in terms of when we're going live.
And YouTube notifications would be first. But then you can also check out social media. Usually IG is on it. Shout out to our social media team. IG will tell you we're going live probably with an hour heads up, maybe, and Twitter as well. So who knows? But Matt, hey, turn on notifications. We wish we could just give you like, hey, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, we go live, but we haven't figured it out yet. We gonna get there.
100%, we will get there. But until then, that's it from me. I know Charlie's going to get ready to watch the Heat game.
For sure. Hey, and I want to end with this. Shout out to 5 Yard Lee. He hit us up and said, yo, explain the rat thing in the Florida Panthers. Like, why are the Florida Panthers like aligned with rats, right? So I didn't even know this thing was here. So this was at the game yesterday. This was on the seats. You can see it. The logo, the Florida Panther logo, and it says "Bring on the Rats." So in 1993, the Florida Panthers were an expansion team, and I believe we were the fastest to the Stanley Cup Finals from expansion. We made it the 1995 to 1996 season. During the 1995 season, like for those who don't know, the Florida Panthers, when the Florida Panthers score, we throw rats on the ice. So we throw rats on the ice, and after every goal and after every game that we win, we throw rats on the ice. And everybody like, yo, why do y'all throw rats on the ice? What's going on here? So in 1995, the year we went to the Stanley Cup Finals, 1995-96 season, was the year we went to the finals. A player from the Florida Panthers killed a rat in the locker room. Middle of the game, end of the game, intermission, not sure when. He killed a rat in the locker room, hit it with the stick and smashed it up against the wall, and he killed the rat. But that year we were doing really good. It was like this majestic vibe going on in South Florida. Look at the Panthers are just killing it. You know what I'm saying? Like we're streaking, and then cats and rats. It's like, oh, cats don't like rats. You feel me? So after everyone found out that Scott Mellenby killed a rat in the locker room, they started throwing rats on the ice. So now it became this huge thing going into 1996. We're going to the finals where, we're throwing rats on the ice, and it's because of the rat. It's like the legend just grew, right? The cats and the rats. And turns out, Chinese Zodiac, they have the year of the rabbit, the year of the dog, the year of something else. There's a lot of different years over there in Chinese Zodiac. Turns out 1996, when this all happened, it was actually the year of the rat in the Chinese Zodiac. So the legend continues, and it stuck with the Florida Panthers forever. And that's why we throw rats at Panthers games. And congratulations to the Florida Panthers, Eastern Conference champions.
Very quickly then, shout out to the Heat tonight. I'm really tempted to get a Florida Panthers jersey or Go Time Dolphins on it and get the correct year, get 20, not 19. So look out for that. That's all I'm saying. But once again, thanks for joining us. Share, like, and subscribe, and we shall see you in